The Chittisinghpura Massacre. Since the 90s, the Kashmir Valley has witnessed many killings and massacres committed by the Indian Armed Forces. These killings are a result of government agencies trying their best to suppress the freedom movement in Kashmir. One way of dealing with the Kashmir issue was to label the entire movement as communal. The agency succeeded in persuading the Pundit community to leave the valley for their safety, and therefore communalizing the Kashmir issue. Instead of offering protection to the Pundits, the government issued advisories asking them to leave and felicitating their departure from the valley. Despite several petitions, the Indian government has denied to investigate the Pundit migration from the valley. After Pundits left the valley a few years later, the Sikh community was targeted in a similar fashion, and panic was created once again. The agencies were reluctant on communalizing the Kashmir issue on an international platform, and were waiting for the right opportunity. This is when Chittisinghpura Massacre took place. Let's understand what happened in Chittisinghpura, Barakpora, and Pathribal massacres. On March 20, 2000, 15 to 17 gunmen entered the village of Chittisinghpura, located in Anantnag district. The gunmen ordered all of the Sikh men and boys to assemble at the village Gurudwara. The gunmen systematically shot and killed 35 of them. This was hours before then US President Bill Clinton's visit to India. This was the first time in the Kashmir conflict that Sikhs had ever been targeted. Indian Home Minister, L.K.Advani, offered the state's Sikh population additional protective measures. However, the local Sikh leadership reportedly rejected the plan, saying that the Muslim majority had not been hostile to them before and that no protection was needed. Hurriyat, however, accused the Indian government of carrying out the massacre to discredit the Kashmiri independence movement. While head of Hizbul Mujahideen said, "Mujahideen have nothing against the Sikh community which sympathizes with our struggle. We assure them that there never was, and there will never be, any danger to Sikhs from Kashmiri freedom fighters." Local villagers ensured normalcy between both the communities, and no acts of violence were reported. However, the lone survivor, Nanak Singh, who escaped without bullets hitting him in any vital parts, was quoted saying, "They were calling each other with the names, Pawan, Bansi, and Bahadur, and then finally they left while shouting, Jai Hind." What followed Chittisinghpura was a cover-up plan that failed miserably. It was the incident of Pathribal. Between 23rd to 25th of March 2000, 5 men were abducted by police and personnel of 7RR from villages in Anantnag district. On 25th March, the SSP police in Anantnag announced in the presence of Home Minister, L.K.Advani, that 5 foreign militants were responsible for Chittisinghpura Massacre and had been killed in a joint operation carried out by 7RR and the Special Operations Group, SOG, of Jammu and Kashmir Police. On the same day, a villager from Pathribal sees the bodies of the men killed in the encounter, and recognizes one of them as Juma Khan, one of the abducted men. Official reports claimed that security forces after a gunfight had blown up the hut where the men were hiding. The bodies were buried separately, without any post-mortem examination. However, it was very doubtful for people and local bodies to believe this version of 7RR, and hence, there were protests against the killings, and this leads us to the killings of Barakpora. The killings of Barakpora. Around 2,000 villagers take out a peaceful procession demanding justice for the victims of Pathribal Fake Encounter, and return of the victims' bodies to their families. On reaching Barakpora, the peaceful procession is openly fired at and 8 civilians are killed. Although the bodies had been burnt beyond recognition, the families were able to recognize the men, from certain marks and peculiarities. Blood samples from the bodies were also taken, for establishing their identities through DNA analysis, but these samples were fudged twice. 14th of February, 2003, investigations into Pathribal Fake Encounter are handed to the CBI. On 9th of May 2006, CBI concludes investigation and files a charge sheet against 5 personnel of 7RR, while accepting that others were also involved. DNA analysis done under CBI proved that the 5 men were the ones who were abducted from their homes before the fake encounter. CBI also found facts challenging the Army's claim that the encounter was genuine, that while the bodies of the victims were burnt beyond recognition, their hideout place was not. While the CBI also proved the encounter was fake, and the Army was at fault. The Army not only failed to cooperate in the investigation, but asked the case to be transferred to Army court. As the Indian Army and Kashmir enjoy impunity under FSPA, and cannot be charged by any civil court, including the so-called Supreme Court. As usual, Army closed the matter stating lack of evidence, the culprits were free, and justice was denied. Several petitions were filed by the family members and several local bodies seeking the report from the Army. There was also a petition filed challenging Army's decision to close the case. But, every time the petition was filed, it was rejected, stating that the Army had the option to close the case, and justice was denied. On 27th of July, 2016, the family approached Supreme Court again, and filed a petition stating all the problematic aspects of the investigation, and how FSPA has helped Army to avoid punishment for such criminal offenses committed by them. We seek justice for the victims of Chittisinghpura, Pathribal, and Barakpora massacres. Let's amplify the truth.